My mom was a bit of an enigma. For those who thought they knew her, she was generally jovial, always making people laugh. She was often the life of the party. For those of us closest to her, she was both loving and demanding. She was troubled, occasionally prone to anger. She was very insecure. But through all of that, she was one of the most giving people that I've ever known. There was always room for someone else at our table. There was always something for someone in need. My mom truly cared about others. It took me many years to realize that all of the positive aspects of my life, such as they are, were gifts given to me by my mom. She was also often guilty of quietly committing random acts of kindness. For many years, she purchased little brass angel pins by the gross. She took them with her wherever she went. She never ran out of angel pins. So whether it was in a grocery store or just walking down the street, if my mom saw someone that looked down or troubled, she gave them an angel pin. That was my mom. Her last months were very difficult for her as she suffered from an incurable condition that caused her a great deal of pain. Even then, she sought to brighten the days of her many visitors. However, her condition did get the best of her. And in her last weeks, she told those of us closest to her that she wanted to die. Now, I reacted like everyone else. And I told her, put your energy into living. I told her that you really don't want to die. On a Sunday in April of 2003, the day after my family and I had moved from a house we just sold, I went to visit my mom. Now, once again, she told me that she wanted to die. For the very first time, I heard the sincerity and seriousness in her voice. And I told her it was okay, that when she was ready, she should go. Of course, her concern was not for herself, but for me, and she told me that I don't want to interfere with your plans. So we were moving into our new home the following weekend. I told her, don't worry about my plans, I'll be fine. Whenever you're ready to go, you should just go. 3 days later, I got a call. My mom had slipped into a coma, and there wasn't much time. So I immediately went to see her. For a bit over an hour, I held her hand and just talked to her. I talked about familiar things, shared thoughts about our path together, just generally reminiscing. Surprisingly, just holding her hand and talking to her, I didn't feel sad. In fact, I had a very good feeling. I felt my mom had finally found the peace and contentment for which she had long been searching. When I realized it was time to let her go, I told her that I loved her and said my last goodbye. Within an hour of my leaving, she just simply slipped away. Throughout my life, my mom and I exchanged many gifts, starting with her giving me the gift of life. She gave me many gifts, however, that were not so obvious, including the valuable gifts of the many values that were integral to her being. On that last day, we completed our final gift exchange. My mom gave me the gift of allowing me time to be by her side and say goodbye. And I gave my mom the gift of permission to let go of life. A postscript. At the reception following my mom's funeral, my daughter, who was 7 at the time, was handing out the last of the little brass angel pins that my mom had ordered. She looked up at me and said, "I think that Grandma is up in heaven, handing out people pins to angels." It was the most appropriate thought. Thank you.